Okay, I am looking at the Monday 6/8 analysis. Um, yeah, this is an interesting spot. um, we are in this regime filter I call RSI 17, and we are gapping way up. So this is a super interesting spot. Yeah, here we go. All right, so I am going to try and figure out yesterday's value as I analyze. It's Sunday, June 14th. Honestly, I don't know exactly what happened this day, but I'm very interested to just see kind of how it all played out. Um, this was not a good day for me trading, if I remember specifically. Um, yeah, let's take a peek at what we got going here. So first off, I want to grab, these value areas. So yesterday's value, that's not a great situation. Okay, so let's grab, let me extend these to the right. Yeah, let me edit the style. Okay. So honestly, let's call that yesterday's value. And then, these are like large value areas that are interesting. Um, and so there's a couple of them actually, because it was such a wide day. And then the other thing too is if you look at, how wide the cams are, it's just crazy. And so, today is opening in the central pivot area, in between, a little bit closer to R3. Um, so if I was going to guess, I mean, we're basically opening right at, or sorry, no, we're opening way above yesterday's value. So, yeah, I don't know. There's this dotted line here for the pre-market low. We're above this value. So, yeah, that's my area of interest. Honestly, make sure I've got all of yesterday dialed in here. And yeah, so this is the big value node. We are potentially, up above towards this value node too. So, um, these are relatively wide gaps. Let's actually move this area a bit more to right here. Actually, this one can be a wide area. Okay. And I'm just going to delete this area. So we are in between these two value areas. So the question is, what's going to happen up here, since we're so close? And I mean, we've already tested it once. So that's the pre-market high. My guess is that we are going to come back down to value here. And so that would be my play, would be to trade up to this area. And honestly, I'm going to make it a little wider. So I'm going to say that we're going to trade into this area and then reject back down. And where is some other confluence? So we've got yesterday's close. I would honestly say that we're going to tag yesterday's close as a important level. And, to me, it seems like we could potentially trade up to R4. Actually, no, we're not trading up to R4. Um, Yeah. And then let's zoom out to a little bit wider analysis um, and see what's going on. Okay, so we have huge 4-hour value right here. Let's change that to orange and huge 4-hour value. Okay, so that's a really important spot for us to accept or reject. I would probably guess that we're going to be coming back down to that area. I like to anchor on the last kind of beginning of our big sell event. So we've got these higher areas up here too, much higher. That we've got to think about as well. Yeah. But when it comes down to it, we've got huge value down here. And the question is, are we going to come back down and test this value? That is not a today question. Yeah, let's stay focused on our, I guess, a little bit of smaller time frame. So we have huge 4-hour value here. If we zoom out, but there's some big areas, around here too. We're actually like in a decent value node. So the question would be, what's, are we going to trade up and fill in this gap up here? Or are we going to come down and fill in this gap down here? After we got below well, I would call this the actually, is this a swing low? Is that a swing? Not really. Yeah, so we essentially tested this change of character down here, and it was firmly rejected. Lot of volume on these candles though. That's really big volume. So I would say that these sellers probably still exist up here. Yeah. Yeah, these sellers are not going anywhere. But then we have we'll definitely call this demand. Yeah, so huge volume, supply. Okay. So let's get back to our lower time frame analysis. So my guess is that we're going to try and trade up here in this. This is intraday, volume area, prior day value. And I would say that we're probably going to hit yesterday's close. So my trade is going to be short from this value area to this value area. So if I go down to 5-minute bars, let's walk through bar by bar. I guess let's zoom through to 6:30. Okay. Wow, we are already up above my my prior day value area of yesterday. So that's very interesting. We've got this huge supply zone. R4 is very intriguing. Yeah, I mean, I kind of want to just get short at R4. I really just think we're going to be trading back down to yesterday's close. So that is my trade. I'm just going to be patient. And, if we sell off really hard from here, then I'm going to wait for us to get back in this zone and then sell off from this demand zone. So I'm going to actually expand this a little bit. So I'm looking for a reversal in this area. Okay, so there's the opening bar and I'm in my demand zone. Okay, so patience. Wow. Yeah, this is basically exactly what I thought was going to happen. Okay, so yeah, I need more of a pullback. Okay. I'm not quite sold on this yet because I don't want to be getting short above my value area. So it needs to trade through this, or I need to start thinking about getting long. And I don't want to get long here because we have yesterday's close and yesterday's value. So my trade idea here is not great. So I am waiting. Okay, we're back in my value area. So I want us to get below this value area and then come back up and retest it. We're still chopping. Literally, we are in our value area, and I don't want to trade this. If we add this to yesterday's value, there's this big value gap right here that can be filled, but we can also just trade straight up. So, yeah, I'm definitely struggling to get long. Or sorry, get short. Okay, now we are below it, and this is perfect. Now I'm looking for a retest. So I'm actually going to go down to 1-minute bars. And let's look at this situation. So, and also looking at the volume, lots of heavy selling volume. We did just get below the low of the day. And then that is a big sell candle. It's a big sell candle, but it's not that much movement, which is slightly concerning. But we are in our zone, so I'm looking to get short on a retest here. That's bigger buying. Okay. Bigger buying. Okay, this is where I would get short. So let's get short. We'll set our, we want to get down to, and we will set our, so I guess I mean, I could set my stop above yesterday's value. This is a huge stop though. It's $2.75. So that's basically a 100-point stop. But then I am saying, you know, I'm going for a huge target of $9. So it's, I mean, it's basically 3-to-1. Yeah, I like this trade. So there we go. That's my analysis on the day and where I would get in. Let's see what happens. Let's switch to 5-minute bars and let's just see what happens. See if I can make this trade work. Oof. Okay. Okay. Oof. Up. And I'm stopped out. Okay. Well, shoot. That's my loser for the day.